Hi guys and welcome back. I'm Adam Thomas, thank you all for joining me again. Today I'm going to do setting up a tattoo station. I'm here at my studio Marked 1 in Stafford in the Midlands. I'm going to go through how to set up the tattoo station from start to finish, talk about how to make sure that everything's nice and clean and sterilised. It's all about maintaining that high level of hygiene and making sure we're not cross-contaminating. I know the audio is a little bit echoey, but that's just because I've got this vast space in the studio. I'm going to punch in a little bit closer so you can see exactly what I've got, how I set up my drawers, how I use the Meta workstation. I'm going to go through a few little bits of equipment that I use, but mainly we're going to focus on setting up the station, just to give you guys a little bit of an idea as to what I do. Hopefully it'll help you guys out. So let's jump straight into it. So first things first, I'll give you a little quick tour of my drawers. So my bottom drawer, I've got my blue roll, Distel, my spare grip covers by True Tubes, and all my plastic wrapping. Next drawer, I've got my day-to-day use grip covers, all my cartridges. So I've got my liners and my mags. This is my drawer with all my machines in, plus my ink caps, a few other little bits and bobs. I've normally got all my clothes in here as well, but because we're on lockdown there at the house, nice and safe. My top drawer is sort of like my go-to stuff, stuff that I need sort of very regularly. So I've got my inkies, clipboard covers, razors, tongue depressors, Bactine, Sharpies, cling film. So first things first, you want to make sure you've always got a pair of gloves on. I've already alcohol gelled my hands, so I'm nice and clean. So these gloves are just used for setting up my station. These will get ditched obviously before I start tattooing, plus all my jewelry and other bits and bobs. This is mainly just so that I've got nice sort of clean hands to clean everything down. So the first thing I start with, just Distel everything. So every surface that I'm going to be using, this does two things. One, it keeps everything nice and sterile. It also helps as almost like an adhesive to stick to the surface. So with the wrapping, you want to make sure that you're over wrapping more than just putting a nice neat sheet on. It's not about being neat, it's about covering all the surfaces. Anything you're going to touch needs to be wrapped. So with that Distel on there, you can see how it just sticks everything down, keeps everything nice and solid. That way your ink caps and everything else like that aren't going to slip and fall over if they're stuck on a little air bubble. So that's all my surface wrapped. It's all hanging over the edge, so there's none of the stainless steel top on show. That's really important. So with that wrapped, the next thing I want to do is wrap my light. Because I'll be moving my light around, I need to make sure that's wrapped. So this is a roll of clipboard cover, but this is just a complete uncut roll. So I want to take off about 1 meter-ish. Again, I want to overdo what I'm doing. With this being cut both ends, just means I can chuck that straight over my lamp. That way, no matter where I touch it, I'm always going to be touching the plastic and not my light. And that way, at the end of the tattoo session, I can ditch it. So just take it off at the top. And that way, everything's safe and sound. That's my lamp sorted. That's pretty much everything I use at the bottom. I tend to just work my way up through my drawers. Grip covers from True Tubes. That also acts as my rinse cup. So 2 for 1. I'm going to be using Bishop Wand for this setup purpose. So with those out, the next thing I tend to do, tongue depressor and inkies. So I like to have a nice sort of big area of inkies. I tend to keep it here. It'll make sense once I got everything else out. For me, being right-handed, I like to make sure that everything's on the right and I'm not going to be knocking anything over. So I don't want to put anything sort of on this corner that I can potentially spill. So inkies, razor, rinse bottle, I use green soap. I've used lots of other things. Fairy liquid's really good, but yeah, green soap's really good. Smells very clinical. Obviously it's like a medical grade disinfectant soap, so definitely worth doing. Wrapping your bottle. Again, you don't want to be tight with the wrapping. Give it a good couple of layers. You don't want that ripping halfway through. Stopping any sort of cross-contamination. So that bottle's wrapped. Open up my True Tubes. So this A little bit of Vaseline, that sticks that down. Again, just to make sure you don't spill it. These are really good because they've got a big surface area on the bottom and they're not tall. It makes it very difficult to knock over. So green soap, I tend to fill that halfway because I tend to rinse out and squirt through my needles, through the cartridges. I don't want to fill that right to the top because it gives me no room then to rinse anything out. Grab a clip cord cover. So these are sealed clip cord covers. Because I'm using the Bishop wand, I need to take this off completely. So my clip cord lives down here. So I'm going to feed that all the way through. So once I'm at this point, with the wand, for health and safety, it's incredible. So the grips get autoclaved every time I use them. We'll take the grip off, pull the grip cord cover sort of right the way down to the little rubber seals at the bottom. You screw that back on. That gives you a completely wrapped, sealed sort of motor in there, so you've got no chance of anything like knocking back on there. And like I say, with this top bit getting sterilized, doesn't matter if anything gets onto that. A little bit of the green soap just to help this slide on. And that's my machine, clip cord cover completely wrapped. So the last thing that I need to wrap up is just my power supply, which is down here. Now it is tucked away, but it is always worth wrapping everything up just in case you do have to adjust any settings. I'm just gonna grab some paper towels. So paper towels is a really important one. Always make sure that you're ripping off more than you think you're gonna use. That way you don't have to stop halfway through and rip some more off. It's always important to be ripping off individual sheets. The last thing you want to be doing is grabbing a roll with dirty gloves halfway through a tattoo, pulling off individual sheets as you go. That's fine if you're going to ditch the whole roll at the end, but doing it this way, it's just going to save you a little bit of time. Just takes you 2 seconds just to make a big pile at the start of the day, and you're not wasting a whole roll. Once I'm at this point, this is how I set up every single time. This is my basic sort of setup. This is how any tattoo that I do would start. Moving forward from this would be a case of adding my ink caps. So because I mainly deal with black and gray, I have 5 ink caps, which deal with the black and gray side of things. So I'd have completely solid black pigment, dark, medium, light, and then distilled water. And then moving forward towards the end of the day, I put another ink cap out for white. Now I don't put the white at the start, because what's gonna happen is you'll tattoo all day, 4 or 5 hours. And at the end, that white's just gonna be super, super crusty. So yeah, put that at the end. So again, moving forward with me being right-handed, because I'd be tattooing sort of over here with my client, I want everything to be sort of here so I can dip into everything. So it gives me plenty of room to rest my hand so I can dip in. That way I'm not gonna be knocking any ink caps over. My water is safely away. So if I'm coming over with my machine, I'm not stretching over anything. So my clip cord's not gonna be rubbing and knocking anything. A lot of what I do setup-wise is just thinking about how I can make my process easier and more efficient. So hence why I have my ink caps at a slight angle, so I've got that slight movement. Cartridges would be set up at the top. So the normal cartridges that I use are either Da Vinci carts or Ghost cartridges from Star Tattoo Supplies. These are just some sample carts that I got sent. You can buy cartridge holders, which are great, but it's an extra expense. And for someone that's gonna be a one-time use, it's a little bit of a waste of time. So the same way that I use as the packaging for my grip cover, I also use that as my rinse cup. I do the same with the cartridges. So the packaging that the carts come in, take a little bit of the micropore tape. I stick the bottom on with the tip side at the bottom, so you've got the biggest surface area. Take off any excess. And by sticking that down on there, it gives you a makeshift cartridge holder. So your carts can just sit in there. That way they're not rolling around. You're not gonna lose them. You can keep everything in line. So I tend to have my liners at this side, and then that moves forward as they get bigger, and then into my mag, starting with the small and getting to the large. So I know exactly where everything is straight away. So from a setup point of view, that's how I set everything up. It's fairly straightforward. Like I say, this is so it keeps my workflow as efficient as possible. I don't want to be messing around. I mean, I've got enough work to do with the tattoo. I don't want to be trying to find cartridges, figure out which ink cap's got which in. I don't want to get halfway through a tattoo and knock something over. So for me, setting up is super important, not only for a health and safety point of view, but just to help with your workflow. Well, there you go, guys. That is setting up from start to finish. It's exactly how I do it every single day. For me, from an OCD point of view, I feel like that's important to keep everything organized and in the same places. That way you're not going to be trying to figure things out as well as doing the tattoo. I'll go through stripping down in a later video once I get back into tattooing. But for now, hopefully you found something interesting from this. If you did, make sure to like my video, subscribe to my channel for my latest videos. And with all that said, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.